there are instances where some of them have wives planted in there who gives them readily available information. So for the monitoring of especially the illegal logging and mining things, it can be very, very dangerous. So when we are dealing with the local communities, we need to really um, um, educate them in safe monitoring and all that. If you have the the conditions are safe for you to capture, do it. If not, you don't risk. Yeah.
Uh, yes. Okay. I also want to add something to what we are discussing right now. You know, when I look at the overview of what is happening, is we are so happy about this initiative because at least somebody can just sit at his comfort zone without moving to any place. There wouldn't be any kind of suspicion. The person can just sit down and then send information that is very important in tackling crimes of national threats. But the main problem, or the problem that we should have been looking at, talking about the final users of this report or the information, then that is where, when you were talking about the organized crime, it is something that we need to take very, very serious. Because where the information is going, after where it has been received, that is where the problem lies. I've been at Galamsey's side jointly and severally for Galamsey. And then when you go and look at what is happening on the grounds, you could feel that most of the owners of the machines that are there are not Ghanaians. You don't know how they were able to bring in the machine and how they cleared them and the purpose of those machines. And when you go and get them intercepted, there's no any legitimate company that you can switch any of the machines to. You see the issue, and you see some kind of calls that are coming, and where the calls are coming, even the people that are that are calling you, and another person that through whom they were going to release those machines, they are the same people that gave them employment. You see where the problem is. So, but it all depends on the kind of commander that you are working with, because sometimes when you fight a crime, it will tend to fight against you. That is the problem. So you go to a place, you are fighting crime. They came and they were talking about political matters, saying that this was what they were promised. So the government cannot turn against them. To understand that you see one mining firm, he used his mine license to cover over hundred thousands of people who are doing galamsey. And that particular thing, there's a high authority that is also there, who is also aware of whatever that is happening. So the final information, or the final, you see what you are going, you see this platform there, it is very, very normal. As you said, unless you go and then sell out yourself, but the preliminary information, when it is given out, we the users of the information might be the cause. Because maybe you can be on the grounds where you can report it to somebody. No, no, that the person that sent you to that field is not even happy that he sent you there to go and fight it.
I think this speaks to, because this is very important. What he's saying is very, very important. I mean, we are all Africans. We are all West Africans. There is practically nothing you have said here that probably isn't worse in Nigeria, where I come from. And so I think one of the importance of this tool, apart from the fact that it will help law enforcement to actually investigate crime and prosecute crime, I think it should empower communities to campaign, because I have said it and it is the truth. The powerful in our countries are complicit. Some of them are in government. Some of them are very high placed, right? They go and give these mining licenses and leases that are killing people, and they still sign it. And that makes law enforcement officials' task very difficult. So I think some of the data should also go to sensitize the community, to say, government granted mining lease to these people. These are the effects in your community, so that the communities can hold government accountable. So it's not just, yes, it's to empower, because there is a point. You would say, tell a police officer to go and arrest someone, or to go and the person is showing you legal, something that is legal justification for the river he's polluting. At that point, you know that the law has failed you. At that point, what you need to do is to hold the political leaders accountable. And I think one of the important functions of this tool is to inform the community. If the harm is, states can be criminals, people in government can be environmental criminals. And I give the example of gas flaring, where government has approved. People are complaining in community. Government has granted license to flare gas. That gas is leaking from in Ghana. You're complaining about rivers being polluted. You're seeing a river, gas is bubbling from under the river. It's smelling in the community. People are packing and running. Schools are being closed down and they are running. These are villagers who have nothing else. At that point,
What's happening on grounds when we know there are some areas in Ghana or there are some regions in Ghana. When you go there, areas in Ghana or there are some regions in Ghana. When you go there, like if you take Northern region for instance, let's say Tamale and Eastern for another sub communities or districts, you could see that the
so would it then help that some of the data too should go to journalists to expose some of these things? Person taking notes, would it help that journalists, periodically based on the data you can have?
Some
Sorry?
of them they did. Some of them did very well. There's one journalist I forgot the name. He gave a lot of information,
Yes. So
and that one he publicity he always put on social media.
exactly.
And when
So
it
publicize it and let the world know what is happening because
Erastus,
yes.
we did a lot of work.
Yeah. So people like this should also benefit from. They should see the information that is coming where the crime is happening.
You see, you see, madam.
That village who are going to suffer much or they will face the consequences. I know a village where a new chief came and the chief said, I don't want to see any dog in this town. Dog. And immediately all dogs were killed in that town. As of today, when you go to that town, you see no dog there. Initially, he said that nobody should embark on illegal mining in this community. And truly, those who started stopped it and nobody was doing it. But today, because the chief himself is involved, everybody is now involved. And it is even affecting cemeteries where they bury their people. So, letting the people know how their activities are going to kill their future generation is very important. Things like this, if you are from that community or that town and you go and report somewhere, your life will be at risk. So making the reporting highly anonymous is very key. It's very key. It's just that in this instance, your liaison officers' lives is going to be on the line. However, that is the job they have chosen to do. And oh yes, then they just have to go and then verify. So that's what I.
Yeah. So he has made a very important point, and that is the risk to the community liaison officers who are also verifying. And so that speaks to maybe the need for some kind of enhanced security training for them as well. And also, maybe closer collaboration with law enforcement, to ensure that at least to mitigate the risk. But I think that risk mitigation for community liaison officers is something that needs to be noted. But from everything that has been said, we see the importance of civil society action, we see the importance of public action, we see the importance of informing journalists. And that will be not individual reports, of course, but like the results of the reports you're receiving over time, where the crimes are happening and all of that, to brief journalists. So I think that might be one of the ways to address this issue.
So,